Good afternoon. I'm Sheriff Kevin McMahill with the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department. With me today is the Special Agent in charge of the Las Vegas FBI Field Office, Christopher Delzato, and the Clark County Fire Chief, Billy Samuels. You'll hear from all three of us. I want to provide a more detailed update and walk you through how this investigation unfolded. Just a little over a week ago, LVMPD received limited information indicating that laboratory equipment and potentially hazardous materials were being stored at a residence in the northeast part of our town. As our investigation progressed, we determined that the home was owned by the same individual connected to a prior illegal BioLab investigation in Reedley, California that occurred in 2023. The nature of that earlier investigation raised significant concern for what we might encounter in this new case. In Reedley, investigators reportedly discovered an illegal biolab containing materials possibly associated with a range of infectious diseases, including hepatitis, COVID, HIV, malaria, and other potentially dangerous pathogens. While it is unknown whether similar materials were present here at the Las Vegas residence, the possibility required us to proceed with extreme caution.
Understandable.
Because of these concerns, LVMPD's counterterrorism section and our armor task force, in partnership with the FBI, immediately initiated a joint investigation and began developing detailed operational plans to address this potential threat. Out of an abundance of caution, extensive preparations were made, resources were mobilized from across Clark County, the city of Las Vegas, as well as our other state and federal partners, to include some from outside of our region, to ensure that this operation could be conducted safely. The main suspect in this case, who you're going to see a photograph on the screen next to me here in just a second, is the owner of the house on Sugar Springs Drive. He's already in federal custody on charges related to the investigation of the BioLab in Reedley, California in 2023. I'm sorry. So that's not the main suspect. This is the main suspect in the California case. The primary suspect we arrested, however, is Mr. Ari Solomon. He's 55 years old, and his initial charge was a charge of disposing and discharging hazardous waste. Solomon is believed to be the property manager for both houses on Sugar Springs and Temple View. As previously briefed, the first phase of this operation began early Saturday morning. You're going to start to see a number of images from this as I talk. At approximately 5:51, our LVMPD SWAT team served a search warrant at the residence on Sugar Springs Drive. There were 3 individuals inside of that home. Each had independently rented a room from the property owner. They were safely removed from the residence, and at this time, they are not involved in this investigation. Based on the information we received, investigators believe that the locked garage was the primary location of the potential biological and hazardous materials. The search warrant was authored by LVM.
I'm confused on how can the people not renting a room have no, well, I guess, but I guess they can claim that, but if I'm renting a room, I know what's happening in the garage. I'm just not going to say anything. But I don't know if that's a crime or not, but let's keep going.
PD's counterterrorism section and our multi-agency teams began preparing to deploy to the scene. To safely manage the risk, a layered use of technology, as you see here to my left, was employed throughout this operation. LVMPD police drones were deployed from the onset, providing a real-time aerial and situational awareness as SWAT secured the residence. Drone feeds were monitored remotely, allowing commanders to assess conditions, adjust tactics, and limit officer exposure in real time. We also employed our robot dog. Before we entered the room, the tactical robot was deployed to clear the interior and conduct initial air sampling. The robot can open doors, navigate stairs, and transmit video in real time, allowing officers to assess the conditions before entering a dangerous environment. Once this residence was cleared, LVMPD's armor team entered the scene. Armor, for those of you that don't know, is our all-hazard regional multi-agency operations and response unit. They do all of the gamut of the CBRNE. Wearing protective equipment, including respirators, the team drilled a small access point into the interior door leading to the garage and inserted a probe to assess air quality. A pinhole camera was also deployed, transmitting live video to the command post and to our Fusion Watch Operations Center here at headquarters. Almost immediately, investigators observed multiple refrigerators, a freezer, and other laboratory-type equipment, along with numerous bottles and jugs containing unknown liquid substances. These items, importantly, were consistent in appearance to the items found and described in the Reedley, California lab investigation. After initial assessments were completed, the Armor team escorted FBI scientists and specialized evidence collection team into the garage. Investigators observed one refrigerator that was still opening and wrapped in the household plastic wrap, along with the freezer that was plugged in and running. You'll see some of that in that video. When the refrigerator and freezer were opened, our investigators identified a significant volume of material, including various vials and storage containers with liquids of different colors and compositions. Additional containers were located throughout the garage, along with laboratory equipment and other specialized items. The scene presented a high level of complexity with materials that had not been identified, that have not been yet identified, and still require careful assessment. Some items appeared consistent with biological and chemical storage, which necessitated additional precautions. The operation required multiple carefully controlled entries into potentially contaminated areas, and each entry involved strict safety protocols and extensive decontamination procedures for personnel. And we also have
one pinprick. If one pinprick would have happened on the suit, I can't imagine the fear that would run through my veins. Oh God, let's keep going. Let's finish up this video.
To decontam all of the equipment each time it comes out and goes back in. As a result, the operation was conducted in a slow, methodical manner. To maximize safety and visibility, large-scale evidence collection was prioritized during daylight hours on Sunday, while additional investigative work and coordination continued overnight. Evidence collection was completed at approximately 6:30 p.m. on Sunday. At the same time, the collected items were transported to a Southern Nevada Health District facility for temporary temperature-controlled storage. The final phase of the operation began focusing on the remediation of the target location. A professional remediation team was contacted to conduct that work, which we completed at approximately 2:30 this morning. Following remediation, final site checks were conducted, all of our units were demobilized, and the scene was cleared. This morning, the evidence was transported to an FBI lab for testing. I'm now going to turn it over to our exceptional special agent in charge, Christopher Delzato, who's going to provide a status on the update of the investigation and outline our next steps. Chris?
Crazy situation. I'll leave the next parts of this, just other videos. But let's go over to this next video, last video we're going to look at until we go to the AI breakdown about people getting sick. So let's get in.
New court documents allege multiple people became deathly ill after spending time at an illegal BioLab inside a Las Vegas home.
Our investigators identified a significant volume of material, including various vials and storage containers with liquids of different colors and compositions.
According to newly released court records, police were tipped off by a former cleaning employee who told investigators she entered the garage, which was usually locked, and found refrigerators, freezers, glass beakers with reddish liquid, and equipment she believed was lab-related, along with a foul, stagnant smell. She told police she and a handyman both got deathly ill days later, suffering breathing issues, extreme fatigue, and muscle aches. She allegedly told police others who lived in the home renting rooms off of sites like Airbnb became sick as well. Authorities arrested the property manager, Ori Solomon, who now faces state and federal charges, including improper disposal of hazardous waste tied to biological agents. Investigators say the case may be linked to another illegal biolab discovered in California, allegedly run by a Chinese national arrested in 2023. That defendant has pleaded not guilty and is awaiting trial, but so far officials have not released test results from the seized materials. Now that's been sent to a secure lab in Maryland. Authorities say the investigation is ongoing and they warn the public there is no known active threat at this time in that neighborhood.
It's scary.
It is very scary.
That is crazy. They said that some of the guests who stayed end up getting sick as well. It was probably, you gotta be careful with Airbnb. You gotta be careful with just staying in random places in general. But let's get over into the quick look at the AI breakdown to see if we missed anything. But overall, this is a crazy situation. So as of February 2026, the federal and local authorities are investigating a suspected illegal biological laboratory discovered inside a residence in Northeast Las Vegas. The facility linked to Jai B. Zhu, also known as David He, a Chinese national already in federal custody for operating a similar BioLab in California. So, like we know, that SWAT went in on January 31st for a search warrant. They discovered 1,000 pieces of evidence, including multiple refrigerators, freezers containing vials of unknown liquid, centrifuges, and other laboratory equipment. So the property owner, Salman, 55, was arrested and charged with federal disposal of hazardous waste and unauthorized discharge. So a former housekeeper, so that's what we talked about, a former house cleaner and handyman were reportedly deathly ill with breathing issues, extreme fatigue after going into it in April 2025. And then we know the connection. It was the home is owned by David Density Discovery LLC, a company registered by Jai B. Zhu. Zhu was previously indicated for running a lab in California that had HIV, malaria, tuberculosis, and COVID. Almost 1,000 transgenic mice genetically engineered to simulate human immune systems. Unexplained payments totaling millions of dollars from Chinese banks. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know. This could have been like a terrorist plot. This could be like something from, they could have been like some bioterrorism. So legislative Republican representative and other are urging the passage of bipartisan legislation to close loopholes that allow unrelated labs to operate in residential areas. That sounds crazy. A report from the House Select Committee of the Chinese Communist Party alleged Zhu was a former official at the PRC state-controlled company with ties to military civil fusion entities. The materials were seized by Las Vegas and have been sent to FBI for extensive testing. This is a crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts on this. Do you think that it's some kind of like bioterrorism type of thing? Or is it just for like research? I don't know why he would do research in America instead of Chinese if he was being funded by the Chinese. That's the only connection is some kind of bioterrorism. Or why would someone who's working for the Chinese or sponsored by the Chinese be in America handling some of these dangerous diseases or viruses or bacteria? I don't know, how do you consider them? Absolutely crazy situation, y'all. Let me know your thoughts and let me know if you disagree with anything I said.